Good evening, everyone. Hi, and welcome to Willingness Wednesday. I am your coach, BVon Squires, and today we are sponsored by Spirit Source Connection. I am so happy that you're here. If you're new, welcome to Willingness Wednesday. I hope that you hear something today that will actually cause you to come back again for next week for more. And if you are returning, thank you so much for your love and support. I couldn't do this without you. You know that. I am just so thrilled and very excited about coming here tonight to talk to you guys. And thank you all for showing up. Thank you. You know, when I see that you guys are here eagerly awaiting to hear what we're talking about, it really boosts my self-esteem. It really makes me feel like I'm saying something that is valuable to you. And so that gives me the energy that I need to keep up the good work, coach. So tonight, we are talking about Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Tonight, we're talking about habit 5. Seek first to understand and then to be understood. It's all about that empathetic listening, right? But before we go any further, I'm going to give us a brief wrap up or a brief recap from last week and the weeks prior so that everyone is on the same page, okay? So first, we're going to talk about a recap where we talked about being proactive, which is habit number 1. This is where you developed your ability to seek solutions. This is where you developed your ability to understand what you can control, right? And what you cannot control. You can control your ideas. You can control your behaviors. You can control your words, things like that. You can control how you dress, what car you drive, what job you have, those kinds of things you can control. Obviously, you cannot control global warming. You cannot control the COVID-19 pandemic, for goodness sakes. There are so many things that are outside of our control. And so when we're able to keep in mind those things that we can control, then we can focus our energy on those things as rather than focusing them on things that we cannot control. Okay, that was habit number 1. Habit number two was begin with the end in mind. What this did is it allowed you to develop the leader in you. Yes, you are the CEO of your life and you are the leader of your life. The leader is the one that has a vision. That's the part of you that says, I think one day I want to be a pilot. I think one day I would like to be a teacher or a nurse or a lawyer or whatever you'd like to be, right? Habit number 2 allows you to look forward to where you can go. It allows you to look forward to the kind of person that you want to become. What kind of person do you want them to say you were after you have gone from this earth? I tell you what, if you want people to think well of you, well, then you're going to have to adapt. Habit number 2, you're going to have to adapt a concept or an idea of the kind of person that you want, the attributes that you want people to remember you by. Oh, she was so kind. Oh my goodness, she had a heart of gold. Oh my gosh, she was such a trailblazer. If these are the kinds of things that you want people to say about you, well, then all you have to do is just change a few things, adjust a few things, and then get moving on becoming your best self, right? So habit number 3, this is where you get to put first things first, right? Habit number 3 is when you get to be the manager of your knowledge, skills, and abilities. You get to see, okay, do I need to do this first or that first? And sometimes it can be quite difficult to determine what goes first, especially when there are competing priorities, especially when there are 2 things that can go at the same time or could possibly work, simultaneously. But you're going to figure out which one is going first. And I, your coach, can help you with that. So don't forget, I'm here. I'm on your team. I'm here to help you succeed. Okay? So what I want you to know now is that first 3 habits are called the private victory. At this point, you have adapted a new way of thinking, right? You have amended your behavior, right? And you have actually adjusted your attitude, right? So we've got a new attitude, we got a new way of thinking, and we have a new way of behaving. This is the private victory. And if you can get there, oh, I'm telling you, you are going to feel on fire. You are going to feel like you have just opened up a part of you that you have never known before. You will feel like you are invincible. You will feel like you can accomplish anything, which you can. Once you have achieved this private victory, then you are ready to move all of your new great attributes, all that new way of thinking, that attitude, that behavior, onto now what is called the public arena. Okay, now you get to bring all of those habits, those wonderful habits that you have spent achieving and putting into place. Now we know it doesn't happen overnight, so I don't want to give you the impression that you can just read these and then there you are ready for the next step. No, it doesn't happen overnight. There are things, information that you're going to uptake. There are if you actually get the book that Stephen Covey has, there's a workbook that goes with it, and it asks you lots of questions. It'll ask you to think about different scenarios, and so it's more than just reading it. It is becoming a part of who you are. You are uptaking it into your mind. You are attaching it to a belief, and then you are following it up with a behavior. Now, once you're able to do that successfully in your own life, in your private victory, now you're ready to bring all of those skills to the table where others are bringing their best selves along with you bringing your best self. And then we come into habit number 4, which is think win-win, right? So now that you're at the table with all these other wonderful players, now everyone is thinking win-win. Everyone has an abundance paradigm, not one of scarcity. And so now we can all work together knowing that there's enough recognition, there is enough kudos, there is enough celebration for us all. We can all take part in the collective celebration of all of our good work. Okay, so there you are. Now everyone should be caught up. We are all on the same page. And now we're going to move forward into Stephen Covey's 5th habit, which is seek first to understand rather than and then to be understood, right? Now, what does that really mean, Coach? I mean, I've heard you say it a couple of times, but what does that really mean? I'm glad you asked. What that means is if I want to walk a mile in your shoes, right, I'm going to have to first take mine off, which means I have to let go of all my preconceived ideas. I have to let go of all of the outcomes I'm expecting. I have to let go of all of these, barriers that I have based on where I've come from, my experiences, my upbringing. See, we are all so different. We look different, our hair is different, we dress different, we may even speak different languages, right? But what I want you to understand is that behind those eyes, everyone is the same. Everyone seeks to be heard. Everyone seeks to be appreciated, respected. Everyone wants to be understood, right? So that's one thing that we all have in common. The other thing that we have in common is there is a place within each of us, which is, can't get this together, sorry. There is a place within each of us that is where our vulnerability lives. This is the sweet spot. This is the essence of who we are. And of course, we want to live there. And of course, we want to be around people that we can show this vulnerable part of who we are, the greatest part of who we are. However, if you've ever been snubbed, or you've ever been slighted, or you've ever been made to feel as if you're not important, well, then you're not apt to show that part of you just to anyone. No. That's where habit 5 comes in. because habit 5 is going to help you learn how um, to listen with empathy, right? This is where you're going to develop empathetic listening. What is that, Coach? Ooh. Well, what that is, empathetic listening allows me to listen intently to what you are saying. It allows me not only to listen, but to hear and consider what you're saying without interjecting my own thoughts, my own ideas, or my own beliefs. I have to be able to listen to you from my heart, right? That's true listening. But there are a few infractions in the listening category that we're going to talk about tonight. One of those is spaced out. Let's say, for instance, you're talking to someone and they just seem like they're just so distant. They just can't, you can feel, you can feel, did I catch you at a bad time? You know, oh, no, we're good. No, come on, we can talk. Okay, so that is the spaced out listener who's doing a million things that doesn't really have time to listen but wants to be there for you so badly, right? Because your girlfriend needs you. She needs you to be listening. But let's say she called you at a bad time and you definitely want to be there for her. But why not say, hey, love, I really want to give you my undivided attention. I'm right in the middle of something. Is it okay if I call you right back? And she's going to say yes. And then you do that. You follow up and you call her back because that's what's going to make her feel seen. That's what's going to make her feel heard. And then when you get on the phone with her, you'll be able to give her that empathetic listening that will help her feel understood. Okay. Now, the other one that we're going to have is the selective listener. Now, the selective listener is only really listening for buzzwords. Words that can help them understand how far we're going in this conversation. They're listening for buzzwords. Oh, girl, I went to a theater the other day, a live play. Woo! I love live plays. Now you got my undivided, full attention. Girl, have you seen Wicked? Oh my goodness, that was so good. You know, and so this is the selective listener. She's listening, or he is listening for something that's going to spark them. They're listening for something that's going to be something they want to actually talk about. Shame on those selective listeners. Then you have people who are listening, but the whole time you're talking, they are trying to figure out what they're going to say back to you. They're trying to figure out what their response is going to be. Now, is that really listening? No, it's not, you know? And so then you also have people who listen with a judgmental mind. They're so busy judging the words you're saying. They're so busy judging that they cannot give you their undivided attention. They cannot give you what you need. And you come away feeling unheard. You come away feeling dismissed, maybe. You come away feeling like, I did not feel accepted or loved. And so therefore, I am not going to show this person my vulnerable part, right? Or it's going to curtail it, limit it, you know. I don't know about you, but I want to be loved and appreciated. I want to be heard and considered. And I know who I can go to for those things. Thank God he has put some wonderful people in our lives. And I bet you, each of you and each of us has at least one person that we can show our vulnerability to. And how important is that? To just let down the walls, just let down the mask, take the mask off, let down the walls, the guards, and just be yourself, right? Thank God for people like that who give us an opportunity to just talk. Sometimes we just need to get it out, you know, not listening, you know, not wanting solutions. Maybe sometimes we just want to get it out. And a lot of times, I know for me, when I'm talking to someone, the solution will come right out of my own mouth, which is really wonderful. Okay, so what I want to help you to understand today is that listening is something that grows as we grow spiritually. How about that? And so there is a spiritual component to listening. you listen with your eyes, because now you're looking for the facial expressions. You're looking for the body movements. This is what's going to alert you to maybe the words are coming out of your mouth, but what are you really saying? Ooh, girl, what do you think about John? He's cool. No. What do you think about John? He's cool. What she's really trying to say is, hey, I like John. What do you think about him for me? Is what she's trying to say. But if we are not listening with the emotional part of us, if we're not listening with our eyes, we're going to miss the cues that show us the intent of the words that she's speaking or he is speaking, right? Now, there's something else I want to talk to you about. Do you know, I have some statistics here, right? For listening, okay? Listen to this. The body language accounts for 53% of the listening, right? The emotions count for 40% of listening, and the words are only 7%. Go figure. Who would have thought that the words that are coming out of someone's mouth, right, do not have as much weight as the emotional part of how they're saying it? Have you ever heard that? It's not what you say, it's how you say it. There you go. See, the words are just, for clarification, just for understanding. But the emotion attached to those words bring content, right? And so what you can do, if you are one of those other people out of those infractions that we just listed, people who are incapable of listening, not because you don't want to, but because you just don't know how to, right? Not everybody knows how to listen, Coach. I understand that. And so that's why I'm here today, to help you understand that not everybody knows how to. And if you want to become an empathetic listener, it's going to take a lot of inner work. That's why this is 7 habits of highly effective people, right? Not just your average Joe Schmo. You're highly effective people who are willing to go the extra mile, who are willing to put in that effort. Number one, to know themselves in and out, so that when they come to the table with that private victory, then they are ready to work with others in the public arena for that public victory. See, as I was saying, I'm not sure if you guys were here last week, but last week I was talking about how Stephen Covey's idea is to bring us to professional and personal maturation, right? So that's where we're trying to go here with all these 5 habits. We want to create someone who is mature in their thinking, mature in their behaviors, and mature in their responses to others, so that you can work together to create the goals and achieve the goals that you're trying to achieve, right? All right, so now I want to just talk to you about mimicking. Mimicking is a way that you can show people, not mimicking, mirroring. We do not ever want to mimic. If you are mimicking someone, then you're, using the same phrases they're using. You are just kind of mimicking them back to themselves, which can make somebody feel a little put off, like a little dismissed or something like that. Can make them feel like they're not worth it, like you're really not involved, like you really don't care. But mirroring is where you want to be, right? Because mirroring allows you to say, I hear what you're saying, and I think what you're saying is, and you repeat it back to them. What I hear you saying is you feel like, and then you repeat that back to them. See, mirroring allows someone to say, oh my God, they really are listening. Oh my goodness, she's not just selective listening to me. Oh my God, she's not too busy to take a moment to hear what I have to say. That makes someone feel accepted and loved and appreciated. Definitely makes them feel heard, and seen, which allows them to take down their walls just a little bit to see if you really care, right? That's when you continue more Tell me more about that. Oh, that's quite interesting. I've never heard that perspective before. I'd love to hear more. And so this is a way that you can engage with someone that makes them feel like you really want to know. And of course you do, because see, you are the kind of person now that's learning from others' mistakes. You are the kind of person now that is bringing all your best to the table. They're bringing all their best to the table. So you want to be able to listen and understand and create those relationships. That's what it's all about, is the relationships. Now, I do want to have a disclaimer here. Even though this information is something that I'm bringing you today, it's something that I know. We are all human. There's a human component to us, and nobody is 100% perfect. So we all fall short. I fall short. Even as your coach, I do fall short in my personal life. But the best thing about it, listen to this. No one is going to be able to listen intently, with empathy, 100% of the time. But when you realize that you've made someone feel dismissed, or you made someone feel unheard, or you made someone feel as if you didn't care, you can always go back, right, and apologize. That right there, man, I tell you what, if you can go back and say, oh, I'm really sorry. I apologize. I had so much on my mind that day, and I should have probably said, hey, can we talk later? And I didn't, and I apologize. I would love to pick up where we left off, if that's okay. And most times out of 10, you're going to be okay with that. It's about taking responsibility for your part in the situation. You have to be able to take responsibility for your part. Not everyone can do that. You have to be highly effective to do something like that. Okay, so before we leave, I want to let you know, empathy, right? Empathy leads to consideration. Consideration leads to compassion. Compassion leads to communication, and communication leads to cooperation. Cooperation leads to integration, which sets us up for habit number 6. Oh my God, wasn't that the coolest? Habit number 6, which is synergy, is what we're going to be talking about next week. It's about how we can all work together as a team. It's about being a team player. That's like the geese that fly south for the winter in a V-shaped formation. They're flying, and they're in teamwork, right? We're going to talk more about that next week. Now, if you want to learn more about Habit 5 or any of the other habits that we have covered in this series, you can call me. If this is something that you would like to embark on, please call me so we can go ahead and get you started, right? You can reach me at 317-721-4315, or you can email me at b.VonSquires@gmail.com. And thank you so much for joining me here. Now, I am going to look forward to seeing you next week at 7:15 p.m. right here on Willingness Wednesday. In the meantime, I am going to be praying for you. I am going to ask God to bless you real good. And I am going to look forward to seeing you again here next week, same time. And in the meantime, if you need me, please reach out. I am your coach, and I'm happy to be here to help you. All right, guys. Love you. See you next week.